All right, we're live, but we got to let the stream breathe just for a second. Got to bring on Facebook, make sure we got everybody in the house here at halftime, and we're good. Welcome in, everybody, to the rapid reaction episode of the Huddle Up podcast, presented as always by Mile High Huddle, powered by Overtime Media. I'm your host, Chad Jensen. With me, as always, my partner in crime. You know him, you love him, Zack Kelberman. Zack, this game started out with the same kind of complexion as the last one ended. It wasn't looking good, but somehow, some way, Drew Lock, he hasn't exactly been Peyton Manning out here, but he's turned it around. What was your reaction to the way, especially the events of the first quarter unfolded? Because your Denver Broncos are entering halftime. They're up 13-10. They haven't scored 13 points in the first quarter since I don't know when.
Based on that first drive, based on the interception, I thought, here we go again. I thought another multi-turnover Lock game. We might see Brett rip, and it could get ugly for Denver, but we saw a different Drew Lock respond after the pick. We saw a different Broncos offense respond after that mistake. And you know what? Credit to Pat Shurmur. I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth right now. He's calling an aggressively good game where he's challenging the Dolphins on the boundary and down the middle. He's getting every playmaker involved: Judy, Hamler, Noah Fan, Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay. Lock is playing pissed off, I think. And this is, again, the best way he plays, from a deficit, playing from behind with his back against the wall with nothing to lose. I like what I've seen. It's going to be, I think, a close game down to the fourth quarter, but I think any Broncos fan, Chad, would have signed up for 13-10 at halftime in a heartbeat.
Amen. Real quick, we're going to grab this super chat from Bison M, but on the rapid reaction, we kind of skipped the matters of business. Hopefully, those of you who are with us, you know how to find us and connect with us on social media. Bison M, a fellow drummer, jumping in with the super chat, one of our superstars. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you. He says, running the ball more than 4 times opens up the passing game. Who'da thunk? Yeah, Zach, that's one of the things that it didn't look good at first. It looked like the same old patterns on that first drive. It's a busted first down. Then on 2nd and 10, it's ugly. And then the Lock throws the pick. But somehow on that big 20-yard gash that Phillip Lindsay busted off the right side, we saw a different type of design from Pat Shurmur. It wasn't just inside-outside zone. You saw the center, Lloyd Cushenberry, pull, go out right, lead blocking, and it just opened up a massive hole. It's good. It's 2 steps forward. Then you see some of the 1 step back from Pat Shurmur with he still can't figure out how to design a productive screen.
We'll take what we can get, though. And on that Melvin Gordon touchdown drive, that was the first 5+ minute offensive drive for the Broncos since week 6. What does that tell you? When you can establish a rhythm, you get Lock going, get the running game going, good things happen. Where has this play calling been? It's not been great, as you just said, Chad. It's not been perfect. He's not Bill Walsh out there, but this is night and day Pat Shurmur from what we've seen. And the guy who went on the podium and said, I guess the way to make yards is give the ball to Phillip Lindsay. Well, he's actually gone following through with that, so I got to give credit where credit's due.
You're absolutely right, Larry, who says on Facebook, Malik Reed is balling. Yep. Yes, he is. He's got a tackle for a loss. He's got a sack. Not great in coverage. You never want Bradley Chubb or Malik Reed dropping back in coverage, let's face it. But yeah, Malik Reed, a revelation, now leads the Denver Broncos on the season in sacks with 6. That's been great. And Zach, what this tells me is overall big picture stuff here is I was really concerned to see, hey man, had Vic Fangio lost control of his coaches because of some of the weird things that Pat Shurmur said last week, as he lost the belief of the locker room. Then things start off on a really bad foot with the pick. I was watching closely, like, is this thing going to go flying off the rails? How intense this defense is playing, and seeing the offense bounce back. If nothing else, Zach, it tells me this is a team still believing in their head coach, still believing in their young quarterback, and battling. And that should be encouraging for fans, because so many Broncos fans, I can't tell you how many comments I've read just in the last 2 days on social media of, I'm not going to watch, or not even looking forward to watching the Broncos. That should be encouraging. The Broncos, even win, lose, or draw, they're going to fight these remaining 7 games, and that should at least give you some encouragement and hope to watch these games.
Yeah, for sure. And not to take anything away from Denver, but it seems like just a little bit Miami and Tua, they're kind of playing down to their competition. They don't look that this well-oiled machine, this juggernaut like the media painted them out to be, surprisingly enough. In terms of Malik Reed, he's under contract for the next 2 seasons, but he's making about $600,000 this year. The Broncos' 2+ players, Malik Reed and Phillip Lindsay, are making like $1.4 million combined. So it's another guy you want the Broncos to take care of, an in-house guy. I think he's earned a new contract. And the defense, Chad, the pass rush has been on point. The defense is playing disciplined, and Fangio has the guys ready to play. And Pat Shermer's calling a good game. Could be a lot worse.
Kenneth Booker jumping in, one of our superstars. Thanks for the support, my friend. We got to get Kenneth a shirt or a hat. Reach out, Kenneth. Let's get you a little swag, dude. You've been really supportive and outgoing. I mean, you're a stud. So a small thank you for us. Reach out. Send us an email, milehighhuddle@gmail.com with your personal deets. We'll get you some swag. He says that pistol formation to Tim Patrick, that pass was a nice play. It was some interesting design. And look, at this stage, you gotta start trying a few different looks. Start giving these opponents a few different things to think about, because the way Pat Shurmur had been designing this thing through 9 games, it was not getting the job done. And it was great to see Patrick make that play and gallop for, what was it, 41 yards. And he officially, Zach, got over 1,000 yards for his young NFL career.
That play design got Tim Patrick that wide open, though. And you want to see that play design from Pat Shurmur. It was creative, but it also was spawned because he was committing to the running game as well. He was getting the running game going. And when you have that threat, play action is lethal. And when you have these pass catchers, you don't have Courtland Sutton, but Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Phillip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon, Tim Patrick, that's more than enough to succeed for a quarterback like Drew Lock. So, I want to see more pistol, but I just want to see more up-tempo and pace like what we saw toward the end of the first half there.
Stu Meat jumping in with a couple of super stickers there, my friend. We really appreciate it. And I wish the super sticker emojis, that when they do a super sticker on YouTube, it shows the emoji. For whatever reason on StreamYard, when we show the super sticker, the emoji never translates. But Stu Meat, we love you. We appreciate you, my friend. You mean a lot to us. So thanks for your support. The Queen jumping in. We're rapid firing through these games. We'll let our hair down on the gut reaction, but right now we got to go boom, boom, boom. Jumping in with the super chat. Thank you, Christy. She says, looking a bit better so far. Thanks, guys. Just overall the energy. I mean, the Broncos have 3 sacks in the first half. They're playing hard. The Dolphins, outside of that, Drew Lock giving them a short field, they've had one productive drive. Right? It was this last drive they had in which they, got down into the red zone and the Broncos bent, didn't break. Tua is, and this offense, I mean, Devontae Parker is an animal, but Tua is, he looks like a rookie, still kind of figuring things out, similarly to Drew Lock. He's just not making the dumb mistakes that we've seen from Lock too often.
Say what you want about Vic. I certainly have, but he's kryptonite for rookie quarterbacks. He beat Justin Herbert. He has a winning record against rookie quarterbacks. He's confusing him. The Broncos are playing discipline. They're not getting beat down the middle very deep. I like what I've seen so far, but that last offense drive, Chad, you saw the defense they didn't break, but they did bend a lot. And I want to see them tighten up a little more before it gets out of hand.
King Kirk on YouTube, appreciate the super. He says, I can't watch the game, but I'm watching play-by-play. Locke started off 0 for 7. Now he's 9 for 19 with 119 yards. So my question is, what made the offense find rhythm? Well, to be honest with you, it was a couple of that scoring drive, that touchdown drive. You had 2 big 3rd and long conversions. One was Drew Lock over the middle to KJ Hamler on a 3rd and 10, picking up 15 yards. Then on a 3rd and 14, Lock scrambles right. Looks like he's going to go out of bounds and be, only pick up about half the yardage needed to move the chains. But he kind of tippy-toes down the right sideline like you've seen Russell Wilson do so many times. Extends, picks up the first down. And from there, the Broncos, wham, bam, they were in the end zone 2 plays later. That drive gave them confidence, gave them belief. They're like, okay, good, we can shake this off. Because initially, Zach, you could see it, man. You could almost see the thoughts in Drew Lock's head. He was anxious. He was confused. He was not, it was not good for Drew Lock. And that drive, I think, kind of centered him. When Drew Lock, everything for Drew Lock, it starts and ends with between the ears. When he is centered and when he is confident and when, that's when you get good Drew Lock. It's when things, and this is a frightening component here. This is a frightening symptom. It's when things start to unravel and Lock tends to kind of make it worse. And that's what I don't like so far about what I've seen from Drew Lock in 2020 is when the going gets rough. Yeah, he did come back against the Chargers. Credit him to that. He almost came back kinda against the Falcons. But this last couple of 2-3 games, man, when it turns bad, it usually only intensifies. And this is the first time we've really seen him, when something bad like that happens, bounce back.
we're not privy, obviously, to what they're telling him before the game or during the week. They might have said, listen, if you throw a couple picks out there, let's say 2 or more picks, you're going to get yanked. We're going to put Brett Ripien in. And so this could have been his turning point where he threw one pick and he sees the writing on the wall and he feels his job about to be taken from him and he rebounds. And he's playing at a deficit. He's playing with his back against the wall. It's almost like we're getting fourth quarter Drew in the first half finally. And maybe the light bulb finally went off with that interception. Maybe this is the turning point. Maybe this is how the tide turns for Locke's career. But if he could just play this consistent and with this up-tempo, it's no coincidence that the play calling has been better, so Drew Lock has been better. The running game has been playing better, so Lock has been better. It all goes hand in hand, and we're all starting to see what they possibly could be.
Steve Baumgartner jumping in. Appreciate the super. He's just happy. Drew is playing a lot better today. Yeah, it didn't start good. It was ugly. I mean, I tweeted this during that first quarter, the first couple of series. Drew goes 0 for 7. I'm like, what was it? 2, maybe 3 runs interspersed. I'm like, does Pat Shurmur think that's Peyton Manning in his prime back there? I mean, you want to talk about balance, Vic Fangio? That's out of whack. Mike Evans jumping in. Appreciate you, my friend, to say, I'm pleased with the defensive effort. And just a quick look here at the team stats through the first 2 quarters. Both teams, Zach, are 3 for 8 on third down. The Broncos, though, Zach, this is unbelievable. The Broncos have 201 yards, total yards in the first half to the Dolphins' 82. Now, It's only 13-10 in terms of points. Not a lot of those yards. Those yards haven't resulted in a proliferation of points, but that's highly encouraging.
This reminds me a lot of the Tennessee, the opening game of the season, where the Broncos, it could have been a blowout. It could have been a major victory for them going away. And this is the same thing. They've stalled a couple times in the red zone. They kicked field goals where they could have had touchdowns. It could have been a blowout so far, but we'll all take 13-10. The defense is playing great as usual. They were never really the question. I wasn't worried about them against Tua. I was worried about the Broncos offense against this Dolphins defense. So, like I said, a 3-point lead right now, I'll take it.
James jumping in. Appreciate that. Very generous super. My friend, he says, please do not take the ball out of the end zone on kickoff. It's always something, man, when they do take it out on a kickoff, whether it's from the end zone or short, like the Raiders were doing to them last week. They just kept kicking it just short of the goal line. They actually wanted them to return because, like a shark sensing blood in the water, they knew Tom McMahon's special teams were just it was always going to be something. And so they wanted to coax that out of them. They wanted to coax that mistake out. And it worked time after time. Today, it hasn't been as bad, but you had the Michael Ojemudia block in the back. AJ Bouye, real quick. James, thank you for the super chat. AJ Bouye negates a Justin Simmons interception on the ensuing play after Locke threw his pick.
That was
then he gives up the touchdown. It was ticky-tack. I agree. What's been your thoughts on AJ Bouye through 2 quarters against the Dolphins? Again, thank you, James.
Well, first of all, the Devontae Parker touchdown, that was a perfectly thrown ball and a great catch by Devontae Parker. The other guys get paid too. It's almost impossible to defend. Yeah, he negated the interception, but that shouldn't have been a holding penalty. That was really, really ticky-tack. AJ's been, I would say, like a B plus in coverage today. I think Bryce Callahan is far and away the Broncos' best cornerback. I think he should be an all-pro this year, but I'm not hating on Boye. I see some of the comments like he's getting roasted out there in coverage. He's not been that bad. He's playing against a very good receiver most of the time on an island one-on-one. So not Hall of Fame worthy, but not terrible either.
King Kirk jumping in to say, I feel like Locke plays too emotional. When he's good, he looks happy and everything's great, but when he's bad, he looks miserable. I agree. It's everything with Drew Lock. I mean, we can sit Zach and critique his footwork. Trent Green has done a good job of pointing out that by and large today, when he sets his feet and throws, it's an accurate play and it's a plus yardage type of play for the Broncos. It's when I'm to a point now, Zach, where when he breaks the pocket, I hold my breath because that's when he just doesn't make great decisions. He can make plays on the run. He can make plays off script. It's the decision making when he's off script that always concerns me. So yes, I agree, King Kirk, too emotional. And then this one, Zach, and I'll send it over. He says, send me from Big Kevin Peterson. Send me over a Meatly Lovers Pizza, Chad. You got my address. #starving. I do. I'll look into that, Doc. As soon as we get off this stream, I'll hook you up.
I think that's also a glaring difference in Drew Lock's game today. It's amazing what happens when he's not drifting back in the pocket, when he's stepping up in the pocket. Even he can make yards with his legs. He picked up a nice third down. It was 14 yards. He scrambled and got the yardage he needed to. Good things happen when he plays composed and when the line protects for him. This is no surprise here, Chad. things all working hand in hand.
All right, Broncos are back out on the field. So let me just grab this from Mike. Philip Lindsay picks up 5 on first down. Appreciate you, Mike. He says, love interacting with you guys on Twitter. The O-line looks better today. We still need to have more outside runs, but Locke looks better today. Hashtag pay Phil. I agree. Philip Lindsay, to get back, I didn't really finish answering that question. Philip Lindsay, I think, has been the key to this offense, finding some rhythm early on. No surprise, man. I mean, when this guy gets only 4 touches in a single game and you lose, the correlation is striking. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So, Zach, hopefully as this first play from scrimmage in the third quarter shows, hopefully they keep feeding it to Philip Lindsay in the second half because good things tend to happen. And, here's a big run. Shout out to you, Muhammad, with the super sticker.
Yeah, 4 rushing attempts compared to 47 Drew Lock passing attempts. And you look at the stats today, Chad, it's a lot more balanced. And when you play more balanced, regardless of game flow, game script, of the score, good things tend to happen. So, again, credit to Pat Shurmur. He's calling a nice game so far, getting everyone involved.
Again, on this big play from Lindsay, just barely on the run in the third quarter, he picks up 20 or so. Pulling, you got the left tackle pulling across the formation. You're seeing creativity in the running game, pardon me, that you just haven't seen from Pat Shurmur from a design perspective. The flute guy Games jumps in, a name we don't recognize. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. He says, hey, guys, first time donating. What is your opinion on the holding call that called back Justin Simmons' interception? Zach, you said it was ticky-tack. It was
very much. I
think if that ref doesn't, I don't know, if the ref doesn't get injured on the ensuing or the previous possession and there's more eyeballs back there, maybe it doesn't get called.
Yeah, very, very tic-tac. I would even wager to say very much BS, but you can't, fault the referees. In terms of Philip Lindsay, we're all seeing now, and I think Broncos country can admit he is far and away the better running back compared to Melvin Gordon. Hashtag feed Phil, hashtag pay Phil.
All right, guys, the game is back on, and the Broncos are sitting here on 2nd and 7. They've already crossed the 50. This is good. We're seeing some inspired play calling from Pat Shurmur. Locke drops back. Nice strike on second down. Hits Noah Fant. Oh, but the ball came out. They called him down. All right, Zach, we're going to be back, of course, for the gut reaction immediately following this game. But in the meantime, I want everybody to join us at the game thread. John, put the live blog open thread for milehighhuddle.com in the chat stream because we want your guys' takes. We want your insights. We want your reactions on the actual open thread over at milehighhuddle.com. That's where we're kicking it during this game. So, Zach, we'll see how the second half shapes up, but the Broncos are moving the ball.
Yeah, momentum is certainly pointing in the Broncos' direction. They keep this up, Chad. They can spring would be one of the biggest upsets in the NFL this season. I'm impressed so far.
Guys, if we missed one of your super chats, we apologize. These halftime streams, it's really run and shoot, so to speak. So we'll make it up to you on the other side. But, guys, we'll be back for the gut reaction immediately following the game. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this second half unfolds. So thanks for joining us here for the rapid reaction stream. For Zach, I'm Chad. We will see you in about an hour and a quarter. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and share it out there if we're doing a good job for you. We love you.